Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Behold the bacon ale. Finally in the bottle. I just a little bit of background on what was going on and how I did it was I first just brewed up a basic pale ale. I think it was 7 pounds of pale ale malt, and it was a pound of Crystal 60, a pound of Carapils, and then I mashed it at I think at 155, as much as I could hold that temperature because it was a pretty cold day, so I brought it inside to try to keep it warm. But it was about 155, 153 that I mashed it at, and then I added an ounce of Columbus at 10 minutes, 2 ounces of Columbus at 5 minutes, and then I cooled it down and added my yeast, which was I can't remember the WLP number, but it was the yeast was San Diego Super Yeast. And so anyway, I think that the yeast kind of dried it out a little more than I thought. It's the yeast is a big thing for me, and I'm kind of experimenting with some different ones. I probably would have been better to use US05, SO4, or even S33, which would have left the malt in it a little bit more. I was trying to get it a little bit sweet, and that's why I used the Crystal 60 in it, and trying to get the body full, so I mashed it at high temperature. So that was the brew day, and I'll get you a link to that brew day up, and and then what I wanted to do was inoculate it with, I guess that's the right word, I don't know, but I wanted to add to it bacon. But I saw a lot of people using bacon, and I've seen pieces of bacon floating around in secondary fermenters, and it just looked bad. I always thought about, what if you saved your bacon ale and it just started turning rancid, and I could see that because I've read and seen online in discussion forums and stuff, people who have used chocolate and have it, and used actually real baker's chocolate and things happening to it. Now, of course, this is secondhand, so I could be wrong on that, but that's why those cocoa nibs, I guess, were invented. I don't know what they are. I've never used cocoa nibs, but I hear they're better to use than regular baker's chocolate. So, what I'm saying is, one of my concerns was that that if I used bacon, which I love the flavor of bacon, in a beer, that it might turn rancid. So I said, what do I do? Second thing I did, so I had brew day. Second thing I had was that I made the bacon, whatever you call it, the bacon, I don't want to call it bacon flavoring because it's actually bacon. So I said, how am I going to get this bacon into this beer without it getting, turning rancid? So I said to myself, and I, looked around, and this is not an idea that's original to me. I've heard whisperings of it and stuff, caught little snippets online and people talking. But so what I did was I took about, 4 or 5 ounces of vodka, and I fried up a half pound of bacon, took the bacon out of it, ate it, and poured the drippings into the vodka, or vice versa. I think I actually put the drippings in the little jar, and then I put my vodka on top, and so I let it, I stirred it in there really good, and I set it aside for a little bit, and then just so the flavor would get into the vodka. And then what I did was I took that little jar and I put it in the freezer. So everything in that jar, after an hour, because I left it for an hour, everything in that jar was frozen except for the vodka. So I separated the bacon from the vodka, with a big spoon and all, and then I poured the, I could see a little bit of bacon in there and some fat around the edges. So what I did was I took the vodka and I poured it through a coffee filter, and caught it in another jar, and that is the and that's what I had for flavoring my beer. Now I took a sip of it, and it has a real smoky, real big bacon flavor. It was bacon flavored vodka. So that's what I added to this. And I'll try to post links to all those things where you can see them if you haven't seen them yet. But that's what ended up in this bottle, and I'm going to try it. I'm actually experimenting with the amounts. You can see I have different amounts on there. Is that right? Yeah. And so I'm kind of experimenting on how much, and if I even like the flavor of bacon in beer. Now, I love bacon and I love beer. I just never had them together. So, but anyway, so it may not be real effervescent because it's from the keg into the bottle, because I'm putting me into the bottles, trying to figure out what my right inoculation level should be. So anyway, here goes, and I'll get this into the glass. Little hiss. Like I said, this is a basic pale ale or amber ale. I think I was shooting for an amber ale. It actually looks much lighter in person than it does on this the video, but it's funny. I'm looking at the monitor. It's a lot darker than it's looking to me. It looks like a pale ale, but I was shooting for I mean, you use the Crystal 60, so I was shooting for kind of an amber-ish ale. I guess I achieved that. Let's say I did. Anyway, so I'm not getting any. I'm getting a little bit malty flavor, aroma. I'm not getting any bacon off of that. And this is one of the heavier inoculations. It's getting, malty sweet. I'm getting a little bit of the Columbus hops. I would never know this is a bacon ale, but definitely is bacon. So I'm going in. Cheers. Cheers to, and here's the bacon. Wow. Man, I have never had a beer like that before. That's an equivalent of, I put about 2 tablespoons of the bacon infused vodka into that, and it's actually a little bit in the background. It doesn't hit you right away, and I can't smell it, but when you taste it, I would imagine this is kind of like a Rauch beer. That's what I imagine it is. It's probably, because it does have that smoky, flavor. Let me go in again, and then I'll be better with my description. Wow, it's got the sweetness of the malt. It's got that, it's a little bit dry. I think this is actually mellowing out a little bit with age. It does have the hop flavor. It's entirely a pale ale, absolutely a pale ale. But man, at the end, you just get that smoke, and that it's actually a meaty taste almost. I mean, you can taste the flavor from the fat, but as you can tell, there's no kind of grease in there. I mean, once you put that in the vodka and you freeze everything and then remove it and then filter it, I mean, there is absolutely no, not even a hint of a grease slick on there or anything. It's just that bacon flavor. Wow, that's something. I'm still not getting any aroma, but the flavor's absolutely there. It's about 2 tablespoons of my half pound of bacon drippings into about 4 ounces of vodka, and that's actually pretty cool. That would be an awesome beer to bring to a party. But anyway, so I'll sip away at this. I'm really enjoying this. Wow. Almost reminds me of, in America they have, I don't know if it's the same around the world, but they have pork rinds, pork cracklings. It reminds me of that. It's like somebody's taking some pork cracklings and put in there. That's pretty cool. Anyway, well, thank you for hanging in there with me with the bacon beer. It's actually pretty enjoyable. I like it. Very unusual, but that's cool. Anyway, happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for watching. Cheers.